I'm Erik here at Telex's CBX 2010 event in New York, and I'm talking with Kevin Black from Pangaea Networks. Kevin, good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So, you guys at Pangaea have recently, I believe it's fairly recently, launched something quite new right here in the Metro New York area. Tell me about that.
That's correct. Pangaea has launched a dedicated Ethernet ring product, which our customers are telling us is really the first of its kind and only one of the kind, at least in New York. It's a ring where you can get a 100 meg ring, a giggy ring, or even a 10 gig ring, depending on the customer requirements.
And so, you mentioned your customers tell you it's the only one of its kind. What differentiates it from some of the other fiber connectivity in
Some of the other fiber
area?
connectivity is it's a hub and spoke product. Mm-hmm. Ours is a true ring product. Dual entrances into carrier hotels. We connect to different customers within those carrier hotels. The customers are telling us that the network itself is redundant and it's not just a hub and spoke.
What benefit does that offer to the customers?
Well, for diversity purposes. So if they want to take their network around the ring different ways, they can do so. They can add and drop at different carrier hotels. So if you're a customer, let's say a small ISP who takes space at Telex, but I need to sell a giggy to a customer at 32AVA, or I need to sell 3 gigs of IP. We allow you to connect 3 gigs of IP to one port to that customer at 32AVA.
What if that customer's requirements change?
If that customer requirements change, what does happen, customers go out of business, they have portability with us. So they could migrate that to another location, say 75 Broad, 25 Broadway. So, and that's in the New York marketplace, and in the third quarter, we're going to be expanding this to New Jersey.
Expanding the
ring
New York
product.
Ring or a separate ring?
Connecting New York, so it would be a connection. So if you want to connect to 165 Halsey, 275 Hart's Way, you can connect back to New York. So it'd be one ring.
So you said there are various options in terms of what kind of connectivity
Sure.
Your customers can get from you. What are people looking for these days?
The smaller customers are starting out with a 100 meg ring, and then they quickly realize that they're growing and they may migrate immediately to the Gig E. And then some of the larger customers that have the 2, 5, 10 gig port requirements are buying the 10 gig ring product.
What kinds of customers, are there particular types of customers that you
International
look for?
customers are the larger ones that buy the 10 gig pipes. You have some of the smaller ISPs that have grown from 100 meg to a gig, and now they're in the process of migrating to a 10 gig. So it runs the gamut.
It really does. Now, what about all the conversation that's been going on about 40 and 100 gig?
The equipment that we use can migrate to 40 and 100 gig. Right now we're looking at the engineers, and I'm not an engineer, but our engineers are looking at the marketplace, where are we going? Are we going to 40 or we skip right to 100? And the equipment manufacturers that we use allow us to do that.
And so what is the answer to that? What's the common thinking?
For us, it's a wait and see. We are looking at the market. It could be 40, it could be 100 gig. So, some companies are doing 40 gig, and we may end up doing 100, and that's going to be down the road.
So what would be the rationale for not skipping straight to 100 if there's a, I would say even more than a high probability, almost certain chance that that's where we're going to end up anyway?
For our perspective, the customers are doing 10 gig, and if they want to do 40 gigs, we have that capability. But at the same time, we don't want to limit ourselves to being able to only do 40. So that's why we're looking at the 100 gig as well. So we're concentrating on the 10 gig right now, and if we get those requests for the 100 gig, we can address those needs. And if we get the requests for 40 gigs, we can address those needs as well.
Of course. Realistically speaking, how far out are we from, say, a real 40 or 100, whichever?
Well, 40 gig wavelengths we see right now. We are doing Ethernet, 40 gig Ethernet. And so the cost of the routers and the equipment on the customer side, that is the real driving force. So once those costs reduce, then we'll see more of a push like we did from giggies to 10 gig. Good. And we're looking at, I would say, at least a year.
Good, excellent. One last question for you. We're here at Telex's CBX event. What are you hoping to gain? What are your thoughts on CBX?
CBX is the best event. We've been going to this for a number of years. Pangaea has been in business 3 years, and we've been here for all 3 years. This is where everybody does business. This carrier hotel at 60 Hudson, 900 carriers, they interconnect here, and our hope is that we can explain to customers what we do, and if they need network outside of 60 Hudson, we're the company to go to.
Excellent. We're talking here at Telex's CBX with Kevin Black from Pangaea Networks. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.